Have you ever felt your brain short-circuit when you had to make a big decision? Like you're standing at a fork in the road, terrified of taking the wrong turn, so you just stop. You park yourself in the middle of the street while everyone else speeds past you. If you've ever been paralyzed by what if, this story might change the way you see your future. Meet Tyler. Tyler was 24 years old, smart, talented, the kind of guy teachers used to say, he's got so much potential. The kind of potential that sounds impressive but doesn't pay the bills. Tyler had a problem a lot of intelligent people have. He was a professional overthinker. He didn't just make pros and cons lists. He made spreadsheets of his pros and cons lists, color-coded, ranked, weighted. He tried to predict every possible outcome before making a single move. He wanted certainty, and that's exactly what was keeping him stuck. One Tuesday morning, Tyler's inbox exploded. 2 job offers, same day. The first was from a massive corporation called Secure Corp. High salary, clean office, clear career ladder, a retirement plan so solid it could make a financial advisor tear up with joy. 9 to 5, predictable, stable, safe. The second offer came from a tiny startup called The Spark. 5 people working out of a garage that smelled like old pizza and overheated laptops. No guaranteed salary, hours listed as whenever you're awake, and about a 90% chance the whole thing would collapse within 6 months. But if it worked, it wouldn't just pay well, it would change the industry. Tyler froze. For 2 weeks, he barely slept. He replayed scenarios in his head like a chess grandmaster playing against himself. Secure Corp meant stability, respect, approval. The Spark meant risk, uncertainty, possible humiliation. Every night he told himself, I'll decide tomorrow. Tomorrow turned into next week. He was so afraid of choosing the wrong door that he stayed in the hallway. And here's the scary part. From the outside, it didn't look like he was failing. It looked like he was being careful. Finally, his father had enough. His dad wasn't a motivational speaker. He wasn't a chief executive officer. He was a contractor with hands rough as sandpaper and a face permanently marked by sun and years of work. One evening, he said, Tyler, get in the truck. We're taking a drive. They drove to an old, unfinished barn his father had been slowly working on for years. It stood alone against the horizon, half-built, wood beams exposed, dust in the air. Inside, his father stopped in the center of the barn. Look around, he said. This place has 2 exits. Let me show you something. He pointed to the first door. Through it was a wide, flat dirt path, clean, smooth, easy to walk, no rocks, no thorns. But at the end of that path stood a massive stone wall, solid, cold, final. It's easy, his father said, but it goes nowhere. Then he turned to the second exit. It was almost hidden, covered in thick thorns and tall weeds. The ground was uneven, sharp rocks, a steep hill. It looked painful, but if you listened carefully, you could hear something beyond it. A river, moving water, flowing, alive. That path is hard, his father said, but it leads somewhere. Tyler sighed. The first one is safe, but dead. The second one could tear me up. What if I don't make it through the thorns? His father grabbed him by the shoulder and looked him straight in the eye. Son, people think the worst thing you can do is make a mistake. That's wrong. The worst thing you can do is nothing. Fear of the wrong choice destroys more lives than the wrong choice ever will. If you take the wrong path, you can turn around, you can climb the wall, you can adjust. But if you stand in this barn forever, you'll rot with the wood. That hit. Tyler realized he had been treating his life like a rehearsal, waiting for a perfect sign, waiting to feel 100% ready. But ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. That night, he didn't open a spreadsheet. He didn't call 5 friends for advice. He sent one email. He chose the spark. And the next 2 years were not glamorous. There were weeks he didn't get paid, nights he slept under his desk because the code wouldn't cooperate, moments he watched former classmates from Secure Corp post pictures of promotions, new cars, and beach vacations. He questioned himself. A lot. But every time he felt like quitting, he remembered something his father said as they were leaving the barn. Action keeps dreams alive. Thinking about them doesn't. So, he kept moving. Every failure became training. Every setback became data. Every mistake made him sharper. And then, on the 550th day, something shifted. The product worked. Not just a little, it exploded. The spark didn't collapse, it scaled. Investors showed up, clients lined up. The technology they built disrupted the industry. Tyler wasn't just an employee anymore, he was a leader. He had reached the river. Exactly 2 years after that night in the barn, Tyler drove back to his father's property, not in a luxury car, not with an ego, but with a truck full of lumber, tools, and a crew. He walked into the same unfinished barn. His father was sitting on a crate, sanding a piece of wood like he always did. Tyler smiled. "Dad, I'm ready to finish the walls. I finally understand something. A house doesn't build itself while you're thinking about it, and neither does a life. You've got to swing the hammer." His father laughed. "Looks like you finally stopped staring at the doors and started walking through them." So, let me ask you something. Why are you still standing in the middle of the barn? What decision have you been postponing because you're afraid of the thorns? Are you waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect confidence, the perfect clarity? Here's the truth. Perfect is never coming. Every later is a quiet thief stealing pieces of your future. If you choose the wrong door, you gain experience, you gain strength, you gain awareness. But if you choose nothing, you gain regret. And regret burns longer than failure ever will. So, breathe. Pick a door, start walking. Your future self is already on the other side of that decision, and trust me, they're hoping you stop making them wait.